Okay, today we're actually going to talk about creating a graphic organizer inside Google Drawing. Nice thing about this is that there's a whole bunch of different things that you can actually pull into this, and it really sets itself up pretty easy to allow you to do a lot of different things to keep your thoughts organized for all kinds of projects. Well, one of the first things that we'll talk about, though, is in this particular view that you can actually see, all we've done is just opened it up. There's nothing special other than the regular display that you normally actually see, such as being able to zoom in and zoom out and so forth. All right. Your selector, you have these different lines, and we'll see where these connectors actually come in. All right, our polyline and scribbles. We have shapes, as you can see, several different types. And we can actually put in text boxes. And if need be, we could actually go get all types of images from our drives, from our photos, URLs, or a camera. All right, well, one of the most popular ones, though, is actually searching the web for these. All right. Now, in this particular one, I'm going to just start out showing you one of the shapes. All right, let's go with something just a little bit above basic. All right, we have our regular rectangle, but we have one that has rounded off ends. All right, I just click and drag to the size that I actually want. And if I want to make several of these, the best way to do is, since I actually have this highlighted, is use our shortcut keys, Control D. Control D will actually duplicate and paste it just far enough away so that I can actually grab it and then move it around. And then I can move these to all over. And if I want to, I can actually proportionately shrink these. All right. Now on this is that if you want to make sure that it stays in its proportion, as you notice, if I'm doing it otherwise, I can get both the width and the height to actually change, or if I wanted to get it where it's locked in, I just use the shift key as I'm sliding it, and it will proportionately actually shrink. That's using the shift key as you click the hold of one of the handlebars, that's what those little blue squares are, and dragging it around until I find the one I want, then let go, and I have that. Now, as this goes around, you can do this to all different types of ones. You could actually then change your mind about the shape of your particular object and put different ones in. It's all up to your own design on this. But if you have a thought bubbles, that we commonly refer to these guys, all right? Thought bubbles are usually in the shape of a bubble, right? So why don't we use a circle instead? And I'll stretch this out. As you can see, I could stretch it out kind of elliptical like this and actually turn to more round. Or if I hold on to my shift key, all right, as you can see, it goes proportionally. It does this on all the size objects. Now if I have this one, I can hit Control D, make me a duplicate, but I was like, well, if this is the main idea, these ones should be a little bit smaller. So I will actually shrink them down, make me a couple of them, let's say about 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and position them around the main idea. As you can see, the red line popping up tells me that I am in line. The blue lines that you see tell me that I am the same distance away here as I am here. Nice thing about this is that it allows you to get these locked in, so you see you have a symmetrical design. Makes it look kind of nice. Well, now inside, in order to have these connected together, all I have to do is come up in here and I can pick elbow connector or curved connector. The choice is up to yours, up to you, no problem. I like the curved one, a little bit fancier. All you have to do then is, now that I've selected it, as I hover over any object, these little dots will actually appear. That's where your connectors will actually make their connection. So I could pick it from any place, even if I wanted to go up from here. Click it and drag. I got a hold of my right click, or excuse me, my left click, and I could put it in and let it go. I get one like that. I can make multiple ones off of the same by click, drag around, and release. And it does not matter. It doesn't care which ones I'm going to. I can come down and go to these ones. I can take ones from already used ones. So you can end up with a big old spaghetti mess if you really wanted to. All right? But you can even hook back onto yourself, which as you can see, it starts actually turning it into some sort of a drawing of some sort. Yes. Now, if I have one actually highlighted, if I go here in my selector and see I have that, I go, I don't really like that one, as I could delete it. All right, or I could come up and get one and I could stretch it around if I want to. I could come and get where it's actually connected and change it to a different connection, like this. I can make the curves a little bit deeper, slide them around a little bit. All kinds of different things that you can do with them. Nice thing too is that you can also change colors of these as well, as you can see down through here. All right, here's my line color. So I'll change this one to red. I can change my thickness by pixels. I can also change the beginning of my lines to from little dots to different arrows, all the way up to open shapes. And they do not actually have to match from one end to the other. So you could actually show flow. As you can see, this one is flowing now into that one because of my arrow. All right. Or I could say that it's something that reciprocates on itself and it flows back and forth by having two different arrows. You can also create links on anything that's actually inside here. So whether you want one of the actual objects itself, all right, or the lines, just click on here, create a link just like you would in anything else. Now, time for the actual objects themselves. Well, if these are thought bubbles, then you want to actually be able to put something in it. As you can see, when I clicked over it, our font actually shows up. All right, our size and all the options that go with that as well. So pretty easy is that you can double click on it and you're instantly inside that particular object and you can actually start typing. Now, as you can see on this, it puts it right in the middle. You have the options as you come over here as to where the actual placement of it is, whether it's at the top and over to the left. All right. You can also, of course, change all the other different types of ones. You can put highlights on it. You can actually make a link for the text on the inside as well. You can do number bulleting, object bulleting. As you can see, all the other ones that you would normally actually do whenever we're actually writing in text. Now, when you first look at this, though, you actually see that the object's background is this, I think it's cayenne color. You can actually go up and change that to any one you want. You can even go with a gradient. All right. You can also go into custom colors as well. You can actually go for transparent. If it's transparent, it'll actually show whatever color the background actually is. In this particular case, the background, as we can right click on it, go for background, and you can see that the background itself can be transparent. If the background is actually transparent, whatever you actually put it on, it will take that color. Now, if it's for something that you're doing for a project, nice visual representation, maybe something with a little bit more of a bold impact or something that might jump off the screen. But as you can see, you got to be pretty careful about how much color you actually are throwing. Only if you're actually printing. If you're just doing this for a visual during a presentation or something like that, the sky's the limit. But as you can see, this one here, as I put, was transparent on its background. That was a little bit too much because I can actually go back to white with it, all right? Or I can actually also pick different colors. Just have to be sure you know which ones balance well. Also, when you're actually picking on an object, you can actually change the color of its surroundings. You can also change the thickness of the lines on it. You can also change the quality of the line so that the line can actually be dashed, dotted. There's several different options for those. And it's just a quick, nice, easy selection. Lots of different things that you can do with it. If you're wanting to put a text box in, just like in anything else, Just type it in. You can do the same changes with that. The only thing is with a text box, all right, is you'll be able to see searching over here, all right, you can still actually connect these ones together, all right, but as you can see the text box itself, if you click on the actual physical box itself, you're going to actually have to go through and see here is a transparent. You'd want a black box or something like along those lines so that it comes out this way. You don't really need to do this when you're using the Google drawings, is because you can actually just use a box itself like so, and you can actually type inside of it just like you would a text box, but you can see that you automatically get the presets for, you know, an interior color on it and a line type and thickness, and I could have done the same thing either way. Of course, they're just always going to turn out to be squares or rectangles depending on how you actually create the box itself, but you also always still have the ability to put connectors on each of those as just a click, drag, and release once you reach the object that you want. This is an introductory video on making graphic organizers using Google Draw.